From mysterious alien discs to a 300-million-year-old UFO tooth wheel, we take a look at 20 mysterious alien artifacts that shouldn't exist. Number 20. The Williams Enigmalith. In 1998, a hiker named John J. Williams noticed a strange metallic object in the dirt. Turned out to have a weird electrical component attached to it. The rock has since become a well-known mystery in UFO enthusiast circles. It's even been featured in UFO magazines. Williams, an electrical engineer, says the electronic component embedded in the stone has not been glued or welded into the granite. In fact, the rock probably formed around the device. Still, geological analysis has apparently determined that the stone is around 100,000 years old, which, if true, would mean the device inside can't possibly be of human creation. Number 19. Ancient aeroplanes. Incans and other pre-Columbian people left behind some extremely puzzling trinkets. Some of the strangest are probably the so-called ancient aeroplanes, which are small, golden figures that closely resemble modern jet planes. The statues were soon found to have features that look very much like fighter planes' wings, stabilizing tails, and even landing gear. They were aerodynamic enough that when ancient astronaut believers allegedly made model planes with their proportions and fitted them with propellers, and again, allegedly, jet engines, they flew perfectly. All of this has led to speculation that the Incas may have been in contact with likely extraterrestrial people who were able to build advanced jet planes, and who perhaps even possessed the technology themselves. Number 18. Phaistos Disc. The Phaistos Disc is a disc of fired clay from the Minoan Palace of Phaistos on the Greek island of Crete, possibly dating to the Middle or Late Minoan Bronze Age, or 2nd millennium BC. It's about 6 inches in diameter and covered on both sides with a spiral of stamped symbols. Its purpose and meaning, and even its original geographical place of manufacture, remain disputed, making it one of the most famous mysteries of archaeology, and many attempts have been made to decipher the code behind the disc's signs. While it's not clear that it's a script, most attempted decipherments assume that it is most probably an ancient alphabet of some sort. Number 17. Baltic Sea Anomaly. The Baltic Sea Anomaly is a 60-meter, or 200-foot, circular rock-like formation on the floor of the Baltic Sea, discovered by Peter Lindberg, Dennis Asberg, and their Swedish Ocean X diving team in June 2011. The team reported that the formation rests on a pillar and includes a structure similar in appearance to a staircase leading to a dark hole. Commentators have suggested that the structure could be a World War II anti-submarine device, a battleship gun turret, sediment dropped by a fishing trawler, or a flying saucer. The object is at the end of what resembles a 300-meter runway, suggesting it could have been some type of alien spaceship that crashed. Number 16. Lake Winnipesaukee Mystery Stone. The Mystery Stone from Lake Winnipesaukee is an alleged out-of-place artifact, reportedly found in 1872 while workers were digging a hole for a fence post. It's a carved stone about 4 inches long and 2.5 inches thick, dark and egg-shaped, bearing a variety of symbols. The American Naturalist of November 1872 suggested the stone commemorates a treaty between two tribes. Analysis has concluded the stone is a type of quartzite, derived from sandstone, or melanite, and it's believed that it's more than 10,000 years old, suggesting it very well may be of alien origin. Number 15. Istanbul Rocket Ship. The artifact looks like the sculpted scale model of a cone-nosed rocket ship. At the rear, it has 4 rocket nozzles, and has a pilot sitting in it with his or her legs folded, wearing something that looks like a ribbed suit with a ribbed flexible hose going up to where the head of the pilot should have been. The artifact measures about 12 inches. Well, this is definitely a practical joke, you might say. Well, yes, you're most likely correct, except for one little thing. Allegedly, it was found at an excavation at Tuspa, an ancient city that existed 2,500 years ago. Number 14. Pakal's Sarcophagus. From southern Mexico, Pakal the Great ruled over the Mayan city of Palenque during the 17th century. He was buried inside a pyramid called the Temple of Inscriptions. The intricately carved lid of his sarcophagus has become a classic work of Mayan art, and also proof and evidence of ancient alien theorists. In their view, Pakal is pictured in a spaceship during takeoff, with his hand on a control panel, his foot on a pedal, and an oxygen tube in his mouth. Number 13. LOLLADOFF Plate. This is a 12,000-year-old stone dish found in Nepal. It clearly shows a disc-shaped UFO. There is also a figure on the disc looking remarkably similar to a classic gray alien. Notice the spiral galaxy as well, with the alien inside it and the UFO at the beginning of it. It has been suggested that the galaxy spiral could be to tell us that they traveled here from another galaxy. Or the spiral shape could even signify energy or eternity. Number 12. The Glorification of Eucharist. An Italian painter named Ventura Salimbeni is responsible for one of the most mysterious altar paintings in history. Disputa of the Eucharist, a 16th century painting also known as the Glorification of the Eucharist. Eucharist is an alternate term for the Holy Communion, is a 3-part piece of work. The bottom 2 parts are relatively normal. They depict a number of religious authorities and an altar. However, the top part shows the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and the dove depicting the Holy Ghost, looking upon them and holding what seems to be a space satellite. The object is large and spherical, with a metallic finish, telescope antennas, and strange lights. In fact, it heavily resembles an old Sputnik satellite. UFO enthusiasts and ancient astronaut theorists have often claimed the Disputa as proof of extraterrestrial life, or perhaps even time travel. Number 11. The Sri Lanka meteorite fossils. Researchers who analyzed the remains of a meteorite that fell in Sri Lanka found that their subject was something more than just pieces of space rock. It was an alien artifact in the most literal sense, an artifact made of actual aliens. 2 separate studies have found that the meteorite contains fossils and algae that are clearly of extraterrestrial origin. Professor Chandra Wickramasinghe, the leading researcher on the first study, says the fossils provide compelling evidence of panspermia, the hypothesis that life exists throughout the universe and is spread by meteorites and other solid space debris. What's more, the traces of life the meteorite contains are actually freshwater species commonly found on Earth, which seems to indicate the object has been contaminated during its time on our planet. Number 10. The Guatemala Stone Head. In the 1930s, explorers found an enormous, eloquently made sandstone statue in the middle of a Guatemalan jungle. The face carved in the stone didn't resemble the facial features of the Maya or any of the other people known to have populated the lands. In fact, its elongated cranium and fine features didn't seem to belong in the history books at all. Researchers have claimed that the statue's unique features depict a member of an ancient alien civilization that was far more advanced than any of the pre-Hispanic races of America that we know about. Some even speculated the head might just be part of a much larger construct underground. Number 9. The Summer's Triumph Tapestry. The tapestry known as Summer's Triumph was created in Bruges, the capital of West Flanders province in the Flemish region of Belgium, around 1538. Currently, it resides in the Beierse National Museum. Summer's Triumph is famous, or infamous, among conspiracy theorists because it clearly depicts a number of distinctly UFO-like objects flying in the skies. Although their presence is baffling, some speculate they may have been added in the tapestry, which depicts a victorious ruler's ascension to power, in order to connect the UFOs to the ruler as a symbol of divine intervention. This, of course, raises more questions than answers, such as why would the 16th century Belgians recognize flying saucers and mentally connect them with a supernatural power? Number 8. Disco Colgante. Most probably, this museum exhibit is a copy of the alien component from a flying saucer. This ancient alien artifact, scientists believe, may have actually been plausible for many reasons. And one of those reasons is that alien technology is suggested to take advantage of magnetron technology and perfect symmetry, which this artifact has. Not to mention, it has a skin layer of highly conductive silver, and said to be tens of thousands of years old. However, man wasn't using metals anywhere near that long ago. Number 7. The Baptism of Christ UFO. This is a painting by Dutch artist Aert de Gelder from the year 1710. Many UFO enthusiasts claim to see a depiction of something extraterrestrial. The Baptism of Christ depicts the scene from the Bible where John the Baptist is baptizing Jesus in the River Jordan. This scene has been illustrated by many artists. However, this scene is particularly interesting because of the flying saucer hovering over the scene with beams of light shining down and illuminating the event. Considering de Gelder's reputation as one of the elite artists of his time, It is likely that this work was intended to be taken seriously and meant to communicate that Jesus had ties to aliens and perhaps was of alien origins. Number 6. French UFO coin. This is a French jeton, minted in 1680. A coin-like educational tool that was commonly used to help people count money, or sometimes used as a money substitute for playing games. It's about the size of a US quarter, and similar to thousands of other jetons with different religious and educational designs that were produced and used in Europe during the 16th and 17th centuries. But look close and you'll see that it appears to commemorate a UFO sighting of a wheel-like object. Some researchers feel it represents the biblical Ezekiel's wheel. The Latin inscription, Opportunus Adest, translates as, "It is here at an opportune time." Number 5. The Madonna with Saint Giovannino and UFO. It was painted in the 15th century and hangs as part of the Loser collection in the Palazzo Vecchio, the town hall of Florence, Italy. The mysterious thing with this is above Mary's right shoulder is a disc-shaped object, which a lot of people suggest is a UFO. In this section, a man and his dog can clearly be seen looking up at the object. Conspiracy theorists believe that some type of alien may have existed, or at least visited Earth in the 15th century. Were the people alive back then aware of something we don't know about now? Number 4. The Mexican government's Maya artifacts. In 2012, the Mexican government released a number of Maya artifacts they had been protecting for 80 years as state secrets. These objects were retrieved from an unexplored pyramid that was found under another pyramid in Calakmul, the site of one of the most powerful ancient Maya cities. There seems to be very little scientific proof of the authenticity of the artifacts, and the pictures that have emerged online are less than concrete evidence. Perhaps the artifacts were cheap fakes manufactured by a local artisan. Perhaps the officials had second thoughts about a planned documentary and ordered someone to shut it down by any means necessary. Whatever the truth is behind these strange artifacts, we may never know. Number 3. The UBAID lizard men. Al Ubaid archaeological site in Iraq is a goldmine for archaeologists and historians. It has yielded numerous objects from a pre-Sumerian time called the UBAID period, 5900 to 4000 BC. However, some of these objects are quite disturbing. A number of UBAID statues depict strange, lizard-like humanoid figures in unique, unceremonious poses that seem to indicate they were not gods, such as the animal-headed deities of Egypt, but rather a race of lizard people. Of course, the statues have been drawn into stories and theories of reptilian aliens that used to roam the Earth, and perhaps still do according to conspiracy theorists, although this seems unlikely, and their true nature remains a mystery. Number 2. The Russian UFO tooth wheel. A Russian man found a strange piece of machinery from Vladivostok, the administrative capital of the Primorsky Krai area. The object resembled a piece of tooth wheel, and was embedded in a piece of coal he was using to light a fire. Although discarded pieces of old machines are not uncommon in Russia, the man became curious and showed his find to some scientists. Testing revealed that the toothed object was almost pure aluminum, and almost certainly artificially made. Also, it was 300 million years old. This raised some interesting questions, as aluminum of this purity and shape can't form naturally, and humans didn't figure out how to make it until 1825. Curiously, the object also resembles parts that are used in microscopes and other delicate technical devices. Although conspiracy theorists have been quick to declare the find a part of an alien spaceship, the scientists researching it are not willing to jump to conclusions and wish to run further tests in order to learn more about the mysterious artifact. Number 1. The BETZ Mystery Sphere. When the BETZ family was examining the damage of a strange fire that had decimated 88 acres of their woodland, they made a strange discovery. A silver sphere, about 8 inches in diameter. Initially thinking it might be a NASA gadget or even a Soviet spy satellite, they eventually decided it was most likely just a souvenir. On a moment's whim, they decided to take it with them. 2 weeks later, the family's son was strumming a guitar in the same room as the sphere. Suddenly, the sphere started reacting to his tunes, emitting a strange throbbing sound and a resonance that deeply disturbed the family's dog. Soon, the BETZ family found the orb had other strange properties. It could stop and change directions when pushed across the floor, eventually returning to the person who pushed it. It seemed to draw power from solar energy, becoming noticeably more active on bright days. To this day, it's not entirely clear what the mysterious alien sphere is. However, there have been many theories attempting to explain its possible origins. And that is why it's one of the most mysterious alien artifacts that should not exist.